Hello, everyone. It is Marc Berman from TV Media Insights. I'm coming to you live from the NATPE conference with Leeza Gibbons.
Ta-da!
So
Hi,
nice
everybody.
to have you.
Thank you very much.
So nice to. I have watched you. I was just saying, on many different venues over the years. You were always doing something. You know,
we reinvent. We do, and I love my work. I love being a storyteller.
Right.
You know, like you, I love kind of being this conduit and getting information and funneling it out into the world. So for me, it's always just what's new and what's next.
Well, talk to me about what you're doing now, which is an interesting project. You're getting more and more clearances.
Yes. That's the big finger crossing, sending intention out into the world.
Yes.
I do a show called America Now.
Right.
It's a nightly news magazine show. It's news you can use.
Sure.
And I mean that in a very literal sense. I know that sounds like the ultimate kind of cliche, but if it's information to make you stronger, keep you safer, add value to your life and your family, and you can put it to use right away, that's what we cover. So it's myself and Bill Rancic.
Sure.
And I love Bill. He's just so much fun to work with. And we work with Raycom and ITV in partnership on the show. So we're here seeing if we can widen our net and have more people be aware of it.
And basically you're covering things, happenings in the news, stories, personalities, all different types of items.
If it fits under that umbrella of does it really add value to your life, then we're doing it. Here's an example. We talk about home fires, and the top 5 things people do wrong. We talk about scams on Craigslist. We talk about identity theft and how to housebreak your dog, how to brat-proof your child, if that's really possible. I need to get some rewind on that. We talk about nutrition and fitness and health alerts and a lot of safety. The thing that is often absent from the show is celebrity, unless there are newsmakers, thought leaders, celebrities who fit into those categories or who have a message along those lines.
Very interesting. And you tape, you do one show a day?
We're on for an hour every night. And the show, it's an interesting concept because we have the Raycom news stations and all of our affiliates as contributors. So the anchors, the reporters, the specialists in their fields contribute stories. We do about half of the stories in LA. Bill and I always do the leads, and we're always out in the field. And we come up with 2 standalone half hours that most stations run as an hour. But it's a really cool design, I think, because you can do a half hour before local news, for example, before Access, late night. So it's a really versatile program.
Well, logically, when in your days when you were on ET, obviously that was an Access show, but you could run these types of shows can run at early fringe, Access. You could run it at late fringe if you wanted to. So it's very accessible. And
it's doing well in all of those day parts, by the way.
Cool.
So in fact, with these syndicated shows, there's Katie, there's Steve Harvey, and then there's us.
We're getting a phone call as this is doing. I'm just going to turn it. What is this? Assistant notification.
They're notifying us.
Anyway, back to this.
We blew them off.
We blew them off. We are not interested. Well, let me talk to you about your ratings for a second. I write a daily newsletter where I crunch ratings. Do you check your ratings? Do you come in the next day and say, how do we do in the overnights? How are we doing? How are we doing in New York? Do you do that?
I don't. I have done that in the past. With this show, I don't check it like daily. Some people are checking it, around the clock. I don't. I check up, sporadically to look at the trends.
Sure.
But the story for us, and this is now, our going into hopefully our 4th season. We've got 3 seasons of the show, and we have trended upwards in every day part in every market so far. So that's really encouraging.
That's definitely encouraging. I always say from a critical standpoint, when you're producing a show or launching a show, I like to do a quieter launch where you're starting out a little slow, you're getting your groove, and then you're increasing your station lineup. So at that point, there's really one place to go, and that's up, and which is what you're doing.
We have had exactly what you refer to. We've had an incubation period where, launching new shows is hard. Everyone knows that. It's, it's an incredible uphill journey.
Right.
We've launched the show. We've had a chance to prove the show. We've had a chance to get systems and protocols and know that our format works. We've got an incredibly talented team of professionals who have been around, so they don't rattle. They're great, strong writers. They're great storytellers. And I love it because it's like we have an A-team of contributors, voices from all over the country. We have a guy that does our product tests, which are really popular. And he's in Texas. He's in Tyler, Texas. And Joe Terrell will test everything you see on TV, and we answer the question, does it really work? We've got specialty dog trainers and specialty beauty people and technology people, and that's really exciting for me.
So, I mean, as I'm sitting here listening, the word that comes to mind when I think of this show is accessibility. It's accessible to the audience. It's something that could be of interest to anybody. It could be myself, it could be anyone else. But and you've been doing this type of genre for quite some time, but I have to deviate for a second and ask you, I would be remiss if I didn't ask you, you were on one of my favorite shows, so I have to ask, what do you think I'm going to ask you about?
One of your favorite shows?
Yes.
I'm assuming it's not E.T.
No, well, E.T., no, not at the moment, but I still watch E.T.
We love E.T.
It's something that...
more obscure?
No, it's about 20 million people watch every week.
Oh, My Generation?
No.
What show?
Dancing with the Stars.
Oh, hello. Our joint addiction. I'm thinking, what else are 20 million people watching? That's like a big show.
Now, I have to ask you, I like, anyone I sit down with that has been on Dancing with the Stars that is bold enough to do it, and congratulations. Everybody tells me it's the hardest thing that they ever did. Is it, or was it?
It is psychological terror boot camp. Yes. And I don't even know how you explain it to people. I went into it incredibly naive. And I was like I don't even know, one of the earlier seasons before it became an extreme sport for like people who are, it's insane now what they do. And I really thought, it's a fish out of water show, and it's okay that I don't know how to do it. And in fact, I write about it in my book, which, by the way, is take 2.
We're going to get to that momentarily.
But I write about my dancing diaries because I actually called my therapist at the time and said, I'm not going to come for a while because I'm just going to work all this out on the show. All my, control issues, all my fear of intimacy, all of my, not enough issues, all going to be worked out. And I have to say, boy, I learned a tremendous amount. I learned how much I could take. I learned that I wasn't as invincible as I thought.
Sure.
I learned how much I had to give. And my kids, I've got 3 kids, and they were there, cheering me on. And when I got kicked off, my youngest son said, "Oh, Mom, I'm sorry you got kicked off." And I said, "But honey, why did I do the show?" And he said, "To learn something new, to try hard, to show up." I go, "Right, so I won."
And listen, having 20 some odd million people watching you is not a bad thing either. So why
I would really, watching my Paso Doble, yes, it wasn't.
Would you refresh my memory again? I think, by the way, Tom Bergeron is one of the nicest people in this business.
One of the most incredible
hosts. Great guy. Oh, he's incredible.
He can host anything. He makes it work. He's so quick on his feet.
Who was your partner?
Tony Doble.
Oh, Tony Doble just won. That's one. He just won, right?
Yes.
Right. He did just win. Yes. I still watch Dancing with the Stars. To me, it's the new generation of what a variety show is, with the music, with the dancing, with the comedy. But we have to now deviate into, I see there's a book.
Thank you very much for that.
I see a very nice book.
Plug.
Shameless plug time.
This is my book that I've just, in fact, it comes out February 5th.
Yes.
And I wrote this book because I think at some point for all of us, life happens and it's pretty messy, it gets all over you. And at some point, I think many of us go, wait a minute, I'm not sure this is the life I ordered. And this is a reminder that you can hit the reset button. And at any point, you can call for a redo. You can call for another take. So whether it's with your career or with your kids or with your love life, I've done all of those. Starting over is something that's available to any of us that if we want to write the narrative to the story of our lives, then we get to write in the plot twist. We get to decide if it's exciting enough to want to turn the next page. And many of us just settle for a story that's boring, quite actually. So I'm really excited about the book. I hope it resonates with people. It's about, happy endings, new beginnings.
How long did it take you to write it?
It's in my head and in my heart. So the writing process wasn't really tedious. It was just joyful. So, they tell you there's a formula about how long it takes to write. I don't recall what it is, but I was just always up in the middle of the night taking notes.
Writing it, right.
And dictating it into my phone, to my iPhone.
Well, you're a hero to me because I've always wanted to write a book, but the book that I want to write about is television trivia, TV history. That's what I want to, but I just wrote a calendar.
You did?
I did, yes. I wrote a calendar that's coming out in 2014, a desk calendar. Anything you want to know about television?
Listen, I've got to. First of all, I'm going to pre-order your book.
This is another shameless
Pre-ordering
plug.
your book.
You have a book, I have a calendar.
Listen,
but I wasn't on Dancing with the Stars.
Well, would you have spray tanned if you were?
I don't know if I would have done. I would have been kicked off in week 1. I wouldn't have been around.
I got to tell you, I remember one of the first days. I said, I'm not going to spray tan, and they went, "Oh no, the lights are so intense. You have to spray tan." I'm like, okay. So literally, I was standing there naked. With the little, they got the little, at this time, they had like the little partition folds or whatever.
Yes.
And they've got the thing, the spray wand, and they're spraying you. And I remember standing there, next to like Julianne Hough or someone with the perfect body. And I'm doing my mantra. My body is strong and healthy. I am enough. I'm like repeating the whole thing.
Well, I have, from a critical perspective, you look very nice.
Thank you.
I don't imagine you had to do any kind of anything to get through that. Had it have been somebody else sitting here, there would have been an issue. But anyway, I wish you the best of luck. Continued success on the show, American Idol.
Thank you. I hope
it's exciting.
We get a chance to continue because it's one of those shows that really does help people.
Yes.
And the stories are quick. We give you a lot of stuff, then you go to the website to get more resources.
Well, that's what this world is. It's quick, and go to the website, and that's what it's all about. Thank you so much for taking the time.
It's nice to visit with you.
It's nice to visit to you, and we are coming from NATPE in Miami Beach, Florida. I am Marc Berman, and you are the legendary
Leeza Gibbons.
Leeza Gibbons. I feel like we're hosting a show. Bye, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Take care.